Hello, everyone. It's William here with Allegory Gallery, and it has been a while since I have seen you all. So, hello. Welcome back. I know Andrew has been out here. Um, so, I do hope that you have enjoyed his tutorials here over the past 2 days, I think. Yeah. And yeah, we've been very, very, very busy here these past few days. We have been working on Star Cottage Studio. I don't know how much Andrew has said about that. Hello, Suzanne. Happy King's Day to you. We have been working on Star Cottage Studio like crazy, like crazy. So we got some furniture that I was building yesterday, which is one of the reasons I was not on. But also we were working on our the split system that we put in has had some parts on it that needed to be covered up better as we proceed kind of into these winter and really cold months. So I was doing that. I had to run up there really quickly after the close of the store yesterday. One of our helpers has, well, one of our helpers has had a family thing that they have to go to. And it's the second one of our helpers that's had a family thing, but that happens, right? And it always seems to happen, when it's harder, when things are cold, when things are, pressed a little bit. So, but at least in the store, we're not that busy. I don't know that that's a good thing, but at least it allows them to go do what they need to do. But so that means I have to be here from open to close. Oh, boo-hoo, right? I have to be at my own store, right? No, but really, it's good to be here. It's good to be here in 2022. I hope you're all doing wonderfully out there. It's been pretty amazing, this entrance into 2022, I have to say. I know some people are going through some hard times. But for us, I have to say that things are on the up and up, I think. Really trying to go into this new year and be in this new year in a way that, is good mentally, mental health wise. As many of you know who watch these, I have severe anxiety sometimes. I've had panic attacks in the past. I am on medication for it, but I also do a lot of other things for it. And I have eliminated mostly all caffeine from my diet. I have eliminated alcohol from my diet. We switched to vegetarian quite a while ago. Not that that really has anything to do with that necessarily, but that kind of eased my mental anxiety over, I'm an animal lover. So eating animals, if you don't have to, and we didn't have to for me, was always something that weighed on my mind a little bit. So, and if you eat meat, that I'm not saying anything about that. For me, though, personally, as we've grown to love our cats and my family has dogs, and it was just very hard for me. So eliminated that from our diet and trying to, go into the new year here with set intentions of, I know that's a big word right now, manifesting things and manifesting the good things. And I kind of shared something on my personal Facebook page that popped into my mind the other day, and it's probably a repeat of what other people have said, but I was thinking about it, and I think it's really true that if you look for things, you will find them. And if you're looking for problems and troubles, you will find them. But if you're looking for love and you're looking for peace and you're looking for, blessings and beauty in the world, you will find them too. So that's my entrance into 2020, really trying to, settle myself and bring myself, center myself, and kind of try to eliminate those things that cause some anxiety as much as we can, right? We can't eliminate everything. Some things are out of our control, but we can decide how we're going to respond to them. And that's what I'm really trying to do. And for an anxious mind, saying that you can decide how you respond to things, it feels completely out of your control. And I know that that's the way I sometimes feel. Like, so everyone tells me, you just change how you respond to it? Yeah, right. When my mind's running, like, but you do have control over those things, you know, and sometimes it takes months or even longer to develop that control. I'm starting some meditation. I've been trying to do a little bit of meditation every day. I'm going to start working on my journaling. That's something that I have always loved. You know, journaling for me, not journaling to push things, not journaling to, you know, to be popular, just journaling for me personally. And if some good ideas come up in that journaling, then I want to share them with people. But it's one of those things that I've been trying to focus on more. I'm even creating a Facebook page for myself called William Tries. I've talked about this a number of times on some other videos that we've done here. And if any of you have personally talked with me, I've mentioned this sometimes too. So I'm really trying to try new things. And just, you know, I firmly believe that a person should never say they're bad at something until they've tried it enough that they should be good at it, right? You can't try something once or twice and say, I'm awful at that. You can, it's all up to you, right? It's all in the mindset. If you want to say that, you want to say I'm horrible at something, you can, right? Nobody's gonna fight you on that. Maybe I'll fight you a little bit, but I think that there are things in life that I want to try and things that I want to do. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. Let's go through these comments here and see what you all are up to now that I've kind of blawed out what I'm doing in 2022 here. Also, if you want to follow me on William Tries, I'll be sharing that link on my personal page. You can find me on Facebook, and I'll be sharing that link with people. And maybe you want to follow along. Maybe you want to try along with me. I think one of the first tries I'm going to start talking about a little bit is some of the meditation and journaling. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be an evolving page. I don't really have any specific plans for it. It's kind of like when we do the Let's Chat videos here. Yeah, I'm just going to be like freely posting how I feel, the struggles I might come through when I'm doing these things. I know one of the struggles during meditation that I've found is that my mind is wild. So that's definitely something. But if you'd like to follow along, William Tries. I just created the page on Facebook, so I got to get everything together yet. But it is there. You could probably search for it and find it. It's my face on the profile picture. So if you want to follow me there, you can. Let's see. Hello, Julie. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Diane. Nancy from Annville, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Nancy. I don't know where Annville is. Where is that? We're in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. So hopefully, maybe we're close. Who knows? Let's see here. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Donna. Hello, Kelly. Marianne is ignoring the cold. I'm sure it's cold there. Kelly says, thinking if about cutting caffeine gives me anxiety. Thinking about cutting caffeine, but I get anxiety is tough. But you're doing all things right, William. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, my doctor told me that caffeine was probably one of my major issues. Then on the flip side of that, sometimes after being anxious, you get depressed, and so alcohol was also a part of that, possibly. I don't know. But I have found by cutting those things out that a lot of times they were coping mechanisms to use them anyway. I have functioned fairly well coming off of alcohol and caffeine. And that's not to say I haven't had any. I think I got a coffee with caffeine in it once. I still drink decaffeinated coffee, so there's a little bit of caffeine. But I do think I had a whole mocha that was full of caffeine at one point because I started getting very jittery. But and also for big celebrations for our wedding, I think it was Andrew's birthday, I had a few drinks here and there, but most of my life for the last year or two, I've cut all of those out. Julie says, you're so right. If you expect good things, they will come. I think that's true. I think that's true. And I'm trying to remember that. I think the hardest thing about some of this is remembering that. And I was following a new friend that I just made this morning. I was watching some of her videos about manifesting and all that and reading some of her posts. And one of them was that she was looking for something, and she was asking friends if they have it, and she was thinking about buying it, but she only needed it for a one-time use. And one of her friends reminded her that you manifest things, right? That's what she does. She believes that, she teaches that. And she said, sometimes the things that we do, that we always do, that are just normal to us, sometimes we forget we do them, right? It's weird in a way, but sometimes we forget, yeah, I have that ability. I can do that myself. So just keeping that in mind, I think. Andrew said, I just finished a meeting. They're trying to get us to open a second store or move to Johnstown. Oh boy, we'll see. We'll see. Allegory Gallery, Johnstown, or something, maybe something else. Who knows? Who knows? That would be interesting. That would be quite a move for 2022. Let's see. Diane said, we found out on January 1st that Chris's insurance lapsed, but on the bright side, he finally agreed that it made more sense for us to get married so he can get on my insurance rather than continuing to pay the equivalent of my SUV payment for him to have insurance so we can hold out for the big fancy affair. So that's in our near future. Congratulations, Diane. How about that? That's very exciting. That's very exciting. As many of you know, Andrew and I just got married here in November, and we had some issues too that it took a while for us to do that and work things out. And so I can say I'm very excited for you. Very, very excited for you too. We like you all. We love you all very much. And that's great. It's great news. Oh, let's see here. Amy says, appreciate that I joined to distract myself from anxiety, and the first thing I heard was an anxious mind. Or appropriate that. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't like to talk about it very much because I do know that just certain words, right? Just certain words can flare up something like that. So I do try not to talk about it too much, but I also do like people to know, you know, I'm very open with mine and that I'm on medication for it, and that there are certain things I've done for it. In case there's anyone out there who needs to reach out or who needs to, you know, hear those things, it is a problem and it can be severely detrimental to your life. And so there are people out there who are willing to talk about it and talk to you about it. And if you are suffering and you think there's any way that I can help you, or if you want to talk to me or ask me for advice, I'm always open for that. And you can always message us. You can message us right through the store. And I'm willing to help as much as I can. I'm not a doctor, of course. I'm not, you know, certified to give any health advice at all. But I've been through it and I do know. So anyone out there who needs it, you know, we are always, Andrew and I have always been the type of people that if you really need help and if there's something we can do, we will always try to do that. You know, we've had holiday parties where we just invite friends and family and acquaintances who may not have anywhere to go. We're generally pretty open like that. We don't want people that we love and care about to be suffering. So if there's anything we can do to end that suffering or help that suffering get better, we're there for you. Let's see here. Lauren says, it's raining today in Australia, but I love it. And now I'm watching your beautiful videos. Thank you so much, Lauren. I was just saying today that we have customers out in Australia. It's really cool, you know, that we can talk to each other all over the world now. The world is so big and yet it's so small, right? It's funny to think that just not many years ago, if you weren't within, you know, walking distance or a small short riding distance, you didn't see anything else. And most people live their lives never seeing anything else. So it's a beautiful thing that we are able to connect in this way. And we are able to show you in Australia, our small town, by taking you on a walk with a phone, right? I just think that's amazing. And, so thank you for watching, and thank you for being out there and being one of our supporters and followers. Donna says, I love journaling. It definitely helps me. I used to be a huge journaler. When I was growing up, I would have so many journals. And I'm one of those people, though, that I hate to mark up my journal. But that's one of the things that I'm going to probably be talking about on my page, is that we really have to, you know, just do it, right? Just make the mark and go with it. There's tons of pretty journals out there to buy after you mark up this one, right? So I want to get back into it. Diane says your new site sounds great. Thank you so much. I hope you'll follow me. I will share the post here later. I actually created the page here while sitting waiting for the car to be done. And so I didn't get it all set up yet, but I will. Oh, Nancy's near Hershey. My husband is from Johnstown. That's awesome. I have family out near Hershey. So how about that? That's great. That's great. Hopefully you'll be able to come and visit us sometime if you haven't already, and visit the store. Let's see here. Diane says, I can't wait to watch you try stuff. I can't wait to get started. I'm very excited about it. And I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. I hope it's something that I want to do it for, personal enjoyment and personal fulfillment rather than worrying about how many people are watching. With our business, as you know, we try and make you share those posts and like those posts and comment on these posts because it does help. It helps the algorithm. It helps our business be seen. We are a small business. We cannot afford to, pay a lot in advertising and marketing and all that. So that's why we ask you that. On my personal page, it's going to be more kind of, I want the core group of people that are going to be supporting and that want to do it with me, or at least watch me do it. But hopefully a lot of you all will join in too. Susie is coming to us from Arizona. Hello, Susie. Thanks for tuning in. Bonjour, Lydia. I hope all is well for you. I hope you're doing well over there. Let's see here. Marianne says, I prefer moderate coffee and alcohol consumption. That's great. If it works for you, that's awesome. Like I said, I've not banned it from my life, but I have pretty much cut it out. I've gotten it low enough that I consider I've cut it out. But if the occasion calls for it, I'm not against it. I just have to mentally I prepare myself mentally knowing that tomorrow or the day after, or even the day after that, at some point I may have some higher anxiety, and I'm able to relate the cause of that back to something I took in, whether it was the caffeine or whether it was the alcohol. And I know it's not going to be a perpetual thing. I know I'm going to come out of it because this was just a little indulgence. And I think that's important. Let's see here. Andrew, Diane, do you want to celebrate your good news by helping me hem curtains? Diane says, I could probably help you hem curtains, although I don't know if it would be part of my celebration. Sorry, I'm not putting the links up here for you out there on YouTube. I try to put the comments here. I have to get better at that again. I'm out of practice here. I'm out of practice. Amy says, it's all good. I honestly thought it was funny. Of course, right? We have to laugh at those things, right? But we're glad you're here, Amy, and we're glad we didn't scare you away today. Susan says, happy I didn't run to Giant Eagle. That's our grocery store here. I thought you were coming on at 6. I did plan on it, but our car people are fabulous, and they finished. We had to go in for an oil change, but you never know how long it's going to take, right? So I didn't want to be pressed too much and be like driving crazy to get back here for the live. But it's supposed to start snowing in some major fashion here, I guess. Everyone's been talking about it today, that everyone I've seen. And so I figured I'll start this now. And then we don't have a long drive home, but our tires on the van, which I'm driving right now, are they're summer tires. So we also talked to them about that. So that's why I decided I'm here. I'm just going to do it at 5. I know I told people 6. I'm sorry if you tune in at 6 and we're not live. We'll still be live probably because this will still be going. But I'm sorry about that if you missed the beginning of this video or you are rewatching this because we said we'd be on it another time. I tried to update the post, but it wasn't much time in between. Hello, Susan. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Suzanne says, thanks for your help in choosing a bead today. You are welcome. Thank you for requesting it. Suzanne messaged us because she knew we have some beads in the store that are not in the online store. And so she was asking, and I sent her some pictures of some things. And we were able to find something for her. So if you are out there and you are looking at our website and you say, I don't quite see what I'm looking for, you can always send us a picture of what you're kind of looking for, or the kind of whatever you're designing, so we can color match things a little better, and we can take a look around the store and see if we find anything. And if we do, we send you an invoice, you pay it, and we ship it out just like it was an online order. No problem with that. So we do that all the time for people, and you're welcome to send us a message. We do ask, though, if you are sending us a message, please do not message me personally on my personal Facebook, or Andrew personally on his, simply because most of the time he and I do not look at those things. Andrew is not in the store most of the time anyway. So if you were to message me, though, I don't actually even have notifications turned on to let me know that someone messaged me there, because I check it maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, just to see if any friends, but most of my friends know they have to text me. So it could take a very long time to get back to you, and I don't want anyone thinking we're ignoring them. So please message Allegory Gallery when you do message, and you can also send us an email, and I'll throw that up here too, because we're going to possibly be using that here in a little while. All right. Let's see here. Susan says, after a blessed 2 weeks without a mouse sighting, my husband saw it upstairs in the storage closet. He didn't scream. Well, I'm glad you had 2 weeks. I do hope it gets better. I hope you find the mouse and are able to safely and caringly move it to a new location for you. Hello, Susie. Marion says, if you did genealogy, you would also know how well connected we are. I have friends who do, and I do know. I do know. Let's see. Andrew saying, murder your darlings. And I'm not sure what that's referring to, but I'm trying to think back of all the things I said, what that might be. But probably the journals and the notebooks. Yes. I guess, I don't know if Andrew wrote it down here, but I guess he had a professor that told him that sometimes you have to murder your darlings, which means that if you have something that is favorited by you, or something you've created that you really loved, there comes a time when you might have to repurpose it or tear it up, or, not so that you don't get so attached to the preciousness of it. And I'm not sure that I'm saying all that right, and that was the full intent, but that's how I take it. And I think it's a really good thing to keep in mind. Hello, Teresa. Thanks for joining in. Nancy says, I want to visit your store. I hope you can sometime. I hope you can. We're not too far away. From Hershey, I think we're about 3 to 4 hours by car. I don't think it's too bad. Amy is picking up her halfling. See you when I get back. Maybe. We probably will be here. Maybe. Depends how long it takes you. But thank you for tuning in for this short time, Amy. Andrew said there's a preciousness, there's the word I use, preciousness that blank surfaces and pages have. Sometimes the hardest thing is just breaking the seal and get going. And that's really, when you buy a brand new, journal, and it's the perfect journal, you finally found the perfect journal. Isn't it the weirdest thing that you actually don't want to write in it? You don't want to mess it up because you finally found the perfect one. I've actually found journals that I love, and then I buy another kind of crappier one, to use that term, that I don't love as much, so that I can actually write in it. So weird, right? But it happens. I think it happens to a lot of people too. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Andrew said Sowers is awesome. Sowers is the tire company and garage that we go to. Sowers Tire here near Ligonier. It's between Ligonier and Bolivar. It's actually probably in Bolivar technically, but it's along Route 711. If you do not know them and you live close to us in this area, highly recommend them. I got some tire quotes today that I haven't even talked to Andrew about, and they are so good compared to the tires that we were looking at purchasing. So I'm super excited. We're maybe going to be able to get better tires for the van faster than we thought, I hope. So that's good news. Susan said, yes, we're expecting 2 to 4 inches here, maybe even more. And normally in PA, 2 to 4 inches, I always say normally because I lived in PA, I moved to New York City, and now I'm back. And I remember things back when I lived here. And even though I've been back for 10 years, I always think back past before New York. And 2 to 4 inches would be nothing normally. But in these days, when we're having 60-degree days, sometimes in the middle of December, 2 to 4 inches is a lot for us right now. Let's see here. Everyone's chatting with everyone. Hello, Molly. Happy New Year to you too. Hope you're doing well. Hello, June. Thank you for tuning in. Molly is deep in kitchen renovation. That is probably fun, probably very fun, but probably also very taxing, right? I don't do good with renovation projects. You can ask Andrew, but he will probably tell you in many more words that I'm not great at DIY. And it's not that I'm not good at necessarily doing it. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. And the disruption and the craziness. But the nice thing about things like that is if you can get through them, you're left with something that's beautiful, right? And you also not only have something that's beautiful, but you also learn something about getting through these processes. Look at my hair. Getting through these processes, right? So you learn something about yourself, I think, in those two. Andrew said Carrie Smith did a whole journaling prompt book called Wreck This Journal. I think I remember those. I don't like prompts. If they work for you, that's great. And I've had things that sometimes prompts are good. I shouldn't say I don't like prompts. That's not the right thing. I guess if I had a prompting journal and I had a regular journal, that's probably what I really need. Because every once in a while, I do like prompts and I think they're good. But I also like to have a regular journal that I don't need the prompts, that I can just free associate write, just free, stream of consciousness writing, I think they call it. And that's the way I like to journal, is complete stream of consciousness, whatever pops in my mind, however bad it is, however good it is, however anxiety ridden it is, however depressing, just get it on paper to get it out of here, right? If it's out of here and it's on that paper, that helps free this up and helps you kind of negotiate those twists and turns a little better, I think. Let's see. Stacia says, hi, everyone can't stay but shared. Thank you so much for sharing this video. We do appreciate it. Let's see what else. I know a lot of people are talking to each other, and that's great. I love that. I love that. Marianne says, had 6 inches in a couple of days ago. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot at once. Oh, what is everyone else saying too? Suzanne said, we just had new windows installed. The cats were not happy. I bet. I know our cats, disruption is not good, right? We try to keep our cats on a regular feeding schedule. You get out of that schedule and they get upset. So we're trying to get a better schedule for them too, as we try and get a better schedule for ourselves going on. Lauren's asking if anyone on here is from Australia. Anybody else out there from Australia that's viewing right now? I know we have a few different customers out there in Australia. We have customers all over the world, which we're really thankful for. But we definitely do have some from Australia. And it seems like Australia is one of those time periods. I don't know what time it is there, but it's one of those time periods that fit these lives, because every once in a while an Australian will stop by and say hello. And we really love that. Yeah, Andrew's friend Wendy lives in Australia. So what's going on with all of you out there? I know some of you are talking about doing some things. How was your New Year's? I know you've probably said all this to Andrew, but now I'm asking you, right? Do you have intentions for the new year? I talked about some of mine. I'm starting my William Tries program or Facebook page to try to push that a little bit for myself more than anything else. Oops, my phone battery is dying. Let me plug in here. On my things to do, I would love to get a new battery for my phone. It seems I can't make it through even almost half a day anymore without charging. So there's that. Let's manifest good battery juju for my phone. And I think we should be charging now. So Yeah. What are your intentions? I think Andrew's talked about things we don't want to necessarily, you know, resolutions are one thing, but I think intentions are better. If you make resolutions, that's great. If you're better at carrying those out, I am not. I always make resolutions and then I'm always depressed and angry at myself for not following through as well as I could have or should have. Should. That's a word that Andrew and I both dislike a lot. But so intentions are the things that we're doing. Lydia says she intends to heal. That's good in every way, right? Lydia's been through some things. I won't tell her personal business, but she's been through some things and she's looking to heal. So we'll send her good energy for that. Marianne intends to do more art with Kristen. Kristen is awesome. We love her. She is part of Softlex and the TGBE, and she also is an artist in her own right and has an amazing, amazing page. I think it's Kristen Fagan Art, if I'm not mistaken. You can find that here on Facebook. Susie is planning on starting a business this year. That's exciting. What kind of business are you planning on starting up? If you need any advice, if we can help you, Susie, please feel free to message us. I don't know how much we can do. It depends on what you're starting, what you're doing, and all that stuff. But if you have any questions and we can help you at all, we started Allegory Gallery from scratch about 10 years ago. We're going on 11 years. So if there's anything we can help with, just let us know. That's what this is about. This whole thing that we call Allegory Gallery is really about community. Yes, we're a store. Yes, we're a for-profit. Yes, we sell things. Yes, we want to make a living. Yes, I want to pay my mortgages. Yes, I want to make Star Cottage Studio great. So we'll have a sale and we'll sell stuff sometimes and raise money for that. But this whole thing, the reason we started a store, the reason we still have a brick and mortar is because of community. So the more that we can help one another, the more that we can take care of one another, the better off we're all going to be, right? I've been watching YouTube videos about Stoicism and the great Stoics. And I can't remember who, maybe Marcus Aurelius, I was listening about him last night, talked about how you should do things for the greater good, because if you're doing things for the greater good, you're always helping yourself in the process, right? You're never not helping yourself. And if you're just doing things for yourself, you're not helping anything else, right? So if we can help in that greater good, that's kind of the goal. That's kind of the epitome of what we're trying to do is create this beautiful crafting community, people who are artistic and adventurous and willing to try new things and just bead with us, right? Bead and be with us, and create something beautiful for the greater good, right? Suzanne is decluttering. We're trying to do that. We're making a bigger clutter while we're decluttering, but I think we're getting somewhere, and I'm very happy about that. Susie says, I just turned 55 and had COVID for my birthday. Oh no. Well, happy birthday, Susie. But I'm sorry you had COVID. That's kind of sucks. But I guess in this day and age, as long as you pull through it and it wasn't a major thing for you, we have to kind of expect that kind of thing could happen right now, right? We just have to kind of be real about that. Many of us have birthdays with the cold and with the flu, and COVID is much more severe than that in some ways. I know the flu is really hard on a lot of people, but it's one of those things that we're kind of trying to adjust to, I think. And I don't know what's going to happen going forward, but I hope we're able to eliminate this, but I'm trying to be more, realistic in that we may have this for a while longer going on. So I'm sorry that happened, but I hope you're okay. I hope you enjoyed your birthday. Susan says staying caught up on things better is her intention for the new year, and I can agree with that. I wish you luck on that. I need to do that, but I'm trying to also give myself room to not be as angry and upset with myself when I don't stay as caught up as I want to, because I do get hard on myself. and I'm trying to be kinder to myself. Let's see what else is going on here. Susan has a friend here in Ligonier from Australia. Nice. I don't know if I know them or not. Donna says Kristen is amazing. She is. She is. Susie is feeling better. Good. Harry says, I am painting more often, trying to sell down brass stampings I've collected. I saw some of those on your Etsy. Very nice. I shared your post, Harry. Hopefully some people saw that. Harry has some very nice stampings that he has collected over the years, and he's trying to liquidate some of those and declutter, maybe, right? Declutter them. So if you like anything, visit Harry's Etsy page and check those out. I also saw, Harry, that you're trying to be a little bit more selective. I think you said in your Etsy page, I think that was you, about something. So I hope that's working out well for you. Susie is going to be selling clothing, jewelry, and beads. Nice. That's awesome. So we wish you a lot of luck in that. Definitely. Definitely wish you luck. Let's see. Andrew said, I like shiny things. That's reason enough to start a store. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Let's see here. Donna says, I went through a book called Walking in This World by Julia Cameron with Kristen, and one of the things we did were morning pages, journaling, and meditation. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Molly says, my laundry room counter and new kitchen counters have quartz sparkle in them. Love me some sparkle. That's awesome. That's cool. I love when sometimes in kitchens and things, when the sun hits just right and you get that glitter. It's really nice. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. Andrew is trying to manifest a hydraulic press. That's a good goal. Andrew's been getting some machinery and things for the studio, and the hydraulic press is one of the big ones that he is really looking forward to getting. And so we're kind of putting some intentions toward that and manifesting that for him so that he can finally have one of those and make some beautiful, beautiful pressed metal things, right? And if you're not following Star Cottage Studio, this isn't necessarily a link, but if you'd like to follow us there, you can. The cottage studio is starting to come together more and more and more. So if you would like to follow our journey there, Andrew's going to be doing a lot of probably, I think he talked about this a little bit, he's going to be on lives more often, probably a lot of them coming from Star Cottage. So do be sure to follow us at facebook.com/Star Cottage Studio so that you can get in on some of that stuff. He is also, as he said here, we mostly update on Patreon. So we have a Patreon for Star Cottage Studio. You can join that. We're showing a lot of the updates there. Probably going to see some special things. We always have special things for our Patreon members. So if you would like to join that and keep up to date, definitely please follow us there. I think the per month charges for that are start very low. So there's an easy way to get in on that and still catch all of the content that comes out there. Let's see what else is going on. Harry is making cinnamon rolls right now. How nice. How nice. I could use some cinnamon rolls. We had a restaurant in town, a little sandwich shop that made amazing cinnamon rolls. And they closed down, but news is it sounds like they're coming back to town. I don't know what was going on, but they're going to be in a smaller location, I guess. So that's exciting. And I hope they bring their cinnamon rolls with them. Marianne says, how pressing, right? That's funny. Let's see here. Uh-oh, Diane's feeling down. Our daughter and granddaughter from New York were coming for a week. They were to arrive tomorrow. With COVID and airline problems, they decided to cancel. Best decision, but a real bummer. Yes, seeing family has been one of those things that's been very difficult, right, through COVID. And that's one of those things that no matter what, you know, I can say as much as I want about, we have to kind of try to figure out how to live with this for a while and get through it. And, you know, that it's going to become more and more, I think, just part of our lives. But not being able to see people is one of those things that make it very difficult. And I hope we can figure something out better that works for everyone. As Andrew said, most of the updates we've been doing on Patreon for Star Cottage Studio are free. The perks are a little bit more, but there's still lots of freebies there. But there are also perks that you can get. And we're going to be offering more content as the cottage and studio start to open up and Andrew starts to be able to do some more work in there. And yeah, so join if you can. Support, love, support, you know, that's what we're all about here. Okay. That was a lot of talking. That was 40 minutes of talking, but I did warn you in this description that we were going to talk first. So I hope you enjoy it. I always enjoy talking with you all. I always feel a little guilty for talking so much, but I have to try and realize in my head that y'all were talking with me, right? I'm going off your comments. And if y'all didn't want to talk at all, these comments wouldn't be, I point, oh, they're over here. They look like here on my screen. So the comments wouldn't be there if y'all didn't want to talk. So thank you for chatting with me a little bit today. If you want to see more of kind of my thoughts on, well, I guess on my William Tries, if you missed the beginning, I'm starting a thing called William Tries, where I try new things, trying new things that are supposed to better you mentally, physically, you know, just better lifestyle. And if you want to follow me, I have a page that I'm starting up, and you can follow that page. I have to work on a little bit more, so it's not finished. I did it while at the gas, or not at the garage. But if you want to follow me, you can do that. I'm going to talk more about kind of these things like the anxiety and the meditation and the journaling, and I'll probably go live there a few times every once in a while. And like I said, it's mostly a page for me to put my thoughts down, but if anyone feels connected to that or would like to watch that, I would enjoy having people who are like-minded following me and joining that journey. Molly says, I've been waiting for William Tries. Yeah, I know. I've been talking about it. See, Molly knows. I've been talking about it for a while. I will share it, Marianne. She's asking about sharing it. I will share it once I get the page up. I don't even have a banner for the page yet. It's probably just going to be a picture I took, but I want to have it a little bit more complete before I actually share it. But if you search William Tries out there, it might pop up. It may be too new on Facebook to even pop up, but my face is there. My face is there. If you see my face on a William Tries page, that should be it. Andrew said, I'd like to try some Chinese food for dinner. You know, that's funny because I was going to ask you if you wanted Chinese, because I got an email today from the menu app that we order our Chinese from. And it popped up and I said, ooh, wonder if Andrew would go for Chinese today, because that sounds really good. Susan says, oh, your friend from Australia is the one who is looking for Jamie Cooper. Nice. I haven't gotten in touch with her yet, but I'm going to see what I can do. It doesn't look like she uses her Facebook page very much, so I have to see if I have any other contacts for her. Okay. Oh, Amy's back. We didn't even start our thing yet. That was quick, Amy. Or maybe I'm just long-winded. Diane says, do you get Chinese at the place in town? Sometimes we do. But most of the time we get our Chinese at the small place called Asian Kitchen in Latrobe. I don't know why we started going there, but I really like the people there. They know us to walk in. They know when my order's there. They know who I am. And they have really good food. The place in town is really good too. Whenever we used to eat sushi, we would get the place in town much more often. But we go to Asian Kitchen in Latrobe. And I do have to say, it's very, very good. All right. So we like to support everyone as much as we can. All these small businesses around us, we try, and anytime we go and we're deciding on where to eat or things to do, we try to pick one of them here and there when we do. All right. So how about we get started? Are you all interested in vintage plastic, vintage lucite? I hope you are. I know when somebody says plastic, you're like, plastic, right? I don't design with plastic. And we hear that a lot too. And, plastic used well doesn't look like plastic. Um, and plastic of some of the quality I'm going to show you today um, looks good, looks great. And the best thing about it is it's super light. So it doesn't add weight to your designs, especially earrings, or for people, sorry, I keep licking my lip. I'm very dehydrated right now. I have not been drinking my water for the last few days that I normally drink, my almost gallon a day. So I'm really feeling it. So I apologize for that. But yeah, this plastic, super light, designed well for people who can't have a lot of weight in their ears or around their neck, or just to have something fun, right? It's inexpensive. It's a great way to make something fun. It's also, even though we call this higher end plastic, it's not all that expensive. But also, my niece and nephew, who are young, love using it to make jewelry, because it's one of those things for kids. You don't want to give glass beads to kids who may fall and break and crack the glass, right, and injure themselves, hurt themselves. So the plastic is a great thing for that, and they can still make pretty things. And as they get older, they will be able to take those things apart, right, and recreate them into different things. It's something that will last. And as they refine their jewelry making skills, if they continue to do it, they will have these raw materials that they made as kids that they can still use years and years down the line if they want to. And I think that's some of the really great things about beads, and especially these vintage things, vintage plastic things. They can be remade over and over again, and they last a very long time, right? So, not that we should be putting more plastic in the world, but this is vintage, right? It's already been done. We're going to work with it. We're going to use it. And some of it's really, well, most of it is really, really beautiful, I think. Let's see here. Julie says, for sure, loves it and is ready. Nice. Diane says, we have never eaten there. I just wasn't sure what it was like. Some Chinese is good, some not so much. It is very good over there. As Andrew said, they had more vegetarian options when we switched over back a few years ago. There were a lot of vegetarian options on their menu, as far as bean curd and tofu and things like that, that I could actually get. They were one of the few places I could get General Tso's like bean curd instead of, which is one of my favorites, General Tso's. And so we just started going there, and it's super fast. I can order online, which is my favorite thing about it. I don't have to go in and order. I can order through an app, and it's ready for pickup. They know who I am because our orders are generally always the same, and it's just really convenient. If I can order from an app, A++, because I'm one of those people that I don't like to make phone calls. I feel awkward on the phone. I was a phone salesman for years, but I still don't like, I've never liked phone calls necessarily. I like either in person, face to face, or completely anonymous over an app. One or the other. I swing way to each side, right? Julie says, I love the lightweight quality of the vintage plastic. Me too. Me too. Harry said, I just sold a pair of earrings today with vintage plastic pear shapes. That's awesome. We're going to have some more to restock you if you want. I think I pulled some pear shapes to show you today. Not many, but I pulled some. Let's see here. Susie says, I have a Mexican restaurant we go to. As soon as they see us, they put our order in, right? Isn't that awesome? I love that. I love that. Andrew said, I think there's a bigger conversation about the craft world. For a lot of folks, they place a lot of importance on intrinsic material value. But when you start looking at the art world and the people who push boundaries, it's more about the ideas and less about how much the raw materials cost. So we're in an exciting time when the lines are blurring. I think, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I can't say much on that because you pretty much said it perfectly. But I do think, when you talk about people who are pushing boundaries and doing different things and the next big thing, right? It's not generally about what is readily available. It's not generally about it's definitely not generally with the normal materials you would see used. And so it's like if you watch all these fashion shows with avant-garde and things like that, and the what's the unconventional materials challenge. I love watching them because it's amazing what people do with pushing boundaries in these ways. And so I think when you look down your nose at something, I think you're missing an opportunity to stretch your own mind. I think you're limiting yourself by saying, I don't work with plastic. I think that's very limiting because you literally just limited yourself outside of vintage plastic or outside of any plastic realm of any of the cool things that you might be able to do with it. And that's fine if you're doing well without that. But if you are somebody who likes to experiment or somebody who likes to, try new things or might want to engage in something new, I think limiting yourself in that manner is just bad. I think it's bad, right? I don't like to limit myself in those ways, and I have in the past. I've been guilty of that. But also, here we go again, going back to the Stoics that I've been listening and watching YouTube videos on and stuff. Am I going to just forget what I was going to say? Oh, they say that you don't have to have an opinion on everything, right? So this really hit me last night because that's when I was watching it. And they were saying, remember, if you don't know about something, right? You don't know something exists. You have no opinion on it. But just because you now know it exists doesn't mean that you have to right away form an opinion on it. You can just let it be. You can just let it sit there. You don't have to have an opinion one way or the other on it. We seem to, in our lives, I think, we seem to always think that we need to think or feel some way about something right away. We have to figure out how we feel about it. And that's not true. Because when we don't know something exists, we don't have a feeling on it. So when we know it exists, why do we have to automatically have a feeling about something or a thought process on it? We don't. We can just let it be and just let it be there until we're ready for it. Or maybe that's never, but maybe it's tomorrow, or maybe, who knows? So I think that's kind of the way I'm trying to, ever since it was just last night, but that has kind of changed the way I think of some things, because I'm always forcing myself. As soon as you see something new, you're like, what do I think about that? You don't have to. You don't have to think anything about it yet, other than just knowing it's there. Andrew says, our local Mexican restaurant is awesome too. They know we're vegetarians and bring by tamales when they make them. Yeah, we ordered, we were going to order tamales one night and they didn't have vegetarian. And so she was making them the next day for a party, and she made a special drop off just for us because she knows that we've asked sometimes and they don't always have them. So they made them for us, which was really, really sweet. Diane says, we've eaten there. They are really good. They are really good. They are authentic Mexican. It's a Mexican family, and they do really, really good food. Andrew says, most of the designers I admire work in just about everything, meaning every media, every, everything. So I think that's true. I think some of the most talented or most, boundary pushing people are people who aren't afraid to say yes to something and give it a shot. Amy says, I have all kinds of materials because people have been kind and gifted me. I am drawn to shiny rocks, but that's a me thing, not a commentary on a perceived value. Yeah, right? We all have the things that we love, and there's nothing wrong with having things that you love, right? We all gravitate towards certain things, and those things that we gravitate toward often change through our lives, right? There are some things that remain constant. I know for me, there are things that remain constant, but there are also things that I used to love that I don't anymore. Or things that I used to hate that I now love, like the color yellow. I used to hate the color yellow, never wanted the color yellow around me. Pantone comes out with the color of the year. I start, that yellow seeps into your brain more and more and more and more as you see it here, and you see it in interior design, and you see it in jewelry, and you see it in billboards, and you see it in, office spaces. You go into your doctor, they now have a yellow couch because, well, The Devil Wears Prada, right? We all know that story. So you start seeing all these things filter down, and now I love yellow. I like want to buy yellow things. I don't want to wear yellow things because it doesn't make me look great. It's not a color for me, but I love yellow now. So I think throughout our lives, you do have things that change and things that you gravitate toward. But I think automatically, like for so long, I rejected anything yellow. I didn't even try it. I didn't even, it was nothing that I would even, I just walked by it. And I did myself a disservice by doing that because now I love it. And look at all the yellow things I could have had that I love. So yeah, that's what I think. And probably I know y'all don't, not all of you come here to hear what I think. And I hope that it's okay that I think some things here sometimes, but I think that's kind of part of what we do in this community. We talk about things together. We hash things out sometimes. We're allowed to have our opinions here. We're allowed to like what we like here. We're allowed to not like what we don't like. Is that right? But yeah, it's I think that's the great thing about you all out there in our community and the supporters we have is that we understand one another. We understand that we're going to have off days. We understand that we're going to have strong opinions on some things and variable opinions on others. And I think that's amazing. Let's see here. Andrew said, I used to not like plastic, but then I was favoriting all these designs on Pinterest and they turned out they were plastic. Heather D. Simone really opened my eyes to the beauty of vintage plastic. Yes, I agree with that. Let's see. Susan says, I wasn't enamored of plastic until I started seeing all the vintage plastic you all carry. Well, great. Thank you, Susan. We really appreciate that. Donna says, I don't look good in yellow either. Yeah, for a lot of people who are very pale skinned, that's one thing, that yellow is a very hard color because it brings out kind of all that green. We have green in our eyes, veins, and so yellow is a hard color. It's also why I say I don't like gold. I don't really think I don't like gold. The color is not good for me. If I see something gold sitting somewhere, I don't necessarily hate it, right? It's just not good on me. So we have to, I think, sometimes reframe how we think of things too, and how we say things even to ourselves, right? How we say things even to ourselves. Because for years I said, I hate gold. I don't hate gold. I just don't wear gold. It's not a color that works for me. Let's see here. Marian says, yep, still do not like pastel pink. And that's okay. You're allowed not to like it, right? You're allowed not to like pastel pink. I happen to love pastel pink. It's also a color that I like to wear because I look okay in pastel pink. But it's not for everybody. And I get that. Amy says, I love natural materials and also lucite and miracle beads. And I'm really pretty sure I'm just a crow in person shape, right? Most of us, I think, here can relate to that. I think most of us in this community here, this wonderful community we have, can relate to that. Diane said, that's me with pink. I used to be like that with yellow, but some yellow has worked its way in. I actually did like the yellow and gray Pantone combo. I think that's what really did it for me too. They paired it with gray, and I love gray as a neutral. Love gray. So they put that yellow there, and it's like, oh, wait, that's not so bad. Diane says, I made a necklace from the kit, and I really love it. Awesome. 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 Suzanne says, William, you taught me to love and value vintage plastic. Good. I'm glad, because it really is a beautiful thing to use. Let's see here. Donna says, I'm olive skin and those colors make me look horrid. Yeah, we really, it's one of those things that, if you love a color and you don't look great in a color, but you love it and you wear it and you're happy in it, be happy in it, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. So don't take it that way, because happiness, I think, as a virtue or as a lifestyle, is the epitome of, perfection. If you are happy with yourself and you are happy with the world, you should do nothing to change that. Yes, some colors do not look good on me. I can say that, and I probably won't wear them. Probably won't, even if it made me a little bit happy. Diane says, I didn't like gold either until I did, right? Yep. Let's see. Andrew said Christian Lacroix, Alex Bitar, Miriam Haskell, and even Renee Lalique. Renee Lalique worked in plastic, right? Don't down the plastic, everybody. Give it a try. Give it a shot. Susie says, love Moonglow Lucite. That's awesome because we're going to have lots of it today to show you. Let's see here. Okay, so now we're going to get started. It's about 6 o'clock, right? Just when I said I would start this video. So if you're just now tuning in, we've been chatting for about an hour. But it works out perfectly because 6 o'clock is when I was said we would have our live earlier today before the update. So this works out. I told you all I'd probably be chatting for about an hour and we'd be okay. You maybe didn't believe me, but you believe me now, right? So we are going to take a look at vintage plastic. Now, I'm going to show you some. We have more. We have more that I'm going to show you, of course. If you see something you love, what I'm going to say, this is going to be one of those days. This is in-store inventory. This is the physical brick and mortar store inventory. So if you do see something that you love, send us an email. And I'm going to put the email address up here. Send us an email or send us a message. If you're on Facebook, you can do that. Let me know what it is you want. A screenshot works wonders. So if you know how to take a screenshot with your device, that's perfect. Take that screenshot, throw it in the email, let us know how many you want, send us your shipping address, and we'll send you an invoice if we didn't run out. First come, first serve on these. They are limited. And we'll get it out to you, get you an invoice, you pay the invoice, and we send it out to you. Easy peasy, right? And we ship all over the world. So for those out there who are in Australia, if you're still out there watching, we do ship there. Don't worry. Shipping is, of course, more expensive. That's the way it is. That's the way the world works. But we can get you a shipping quote. Generally, I think up to Canada, I'm not even going to try and remember. I've been away for too long. Not that I've been away that long, but I already lost all of that. So if you need a quote on shipping, let us know. We will send your invoice with the appropriate shipping marked on it. We do try our best not to overcharge in the shipping. We try to keep our shipping costs as exact as we can for you. So generally, we will take the items that you request. We will weigh them out on a scale, get the exact shipping amount that it would be, and send you an invoice with that amount. We do use commercial rates. So they are generally less than you would pay at the post office. But if you do need a quote first, just know that if you're in another country, we do need to know exactly what you want. A lot of people ask us, hey, what's shipping to Spain or what's shipping to Portugal? I can't tell you because I need the weight. So what is it you want? And we can try and get you a shipping cost on that, okay? So here we go. Let me flip this camera around. First, let me turn it up. You're going to see the ceiling a little bit here and my face as I don't mind my face looking down. I always remember that Golden Girls. I don't know if you like the Golden Girls. If you've watched the Golden Girls, there's this one episode where they show Blanche what it's like to look down on a mirror versus looking up at a mirror. And I've always remembered that. And I remember it especially even more now as I'm getting older and often see my own face in this video as I flip the cameras around. I often see my face in there. And every time I do, I think of that where they showed Blanche looking down at a mirror and looking up at a mirror. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's probably on YouTube. You can probably find it pretty easily using some of that as description. All right. Sorry, I'm kicking the stand. This is a new tripod, pretty new. I just started using it in the last few lives. And it's a little different than our old ones, but it was less expensive and it was immediately available. So I got it, and it works really well. It's very very sturdy as it sits here, but I bump it a lot more often. So sorry about that. I don't want to make everyone seasick. Now I'm going to take a drink since I've been talking for so long. Donna loves that show. Me too. One of my all-time favorites. We used to have Golden Girls. My grandmother, my brother, and I used to play board games. We would stay over as young kids at my grandmother's house. And Golden Girls generally followed, I think, by Empty Nest. Were always on as we played games. And I always have loved it because of the association and also just because they're amazing shows. Okay, Andrew's sharing some great artist names here. If you're not following in the comments, of people who work in plastic, recycled plastic, and things like that. So if you are looking for some inspiration using some of this plastic, I do hope that you will write some of those down and check them out. You know, here at Allegory Gallery, we like to be more than just sellers of things. We like to try to, you know, empower you to find new things. We like to be a source of, you know, inspiration, but also a source of information for you. And Andrew is often very good at that. He has a wide knowledge of many things artistic. So hopefully you'll write those down. Sorry, I'm just making note of something I don't want to forget to talk to you about at the end of this video too. I do that sometimes throughout the videos. I make notes to myself. So sometimes when I go quiet a little bit or my stream of conscious speaking seems to be interrupted, sometimes I'm trying to do two things at once by writing it down and speaking about something at the same time. Okay, so vintage plastic. Let's start out with these. Check this out. Check this out. I love these coins. They are yellow. How about that? Funny how I start with a yellow thing that I've been talking about yellow all this time. I didn't try that. It just happened. I swear. I just picked up the first one. So this is beautiful vintage plastic, yellow toned with these coin shape. It's kind of a pinched coin. They're kind of pinched on the edges, right? So they're not completely coiny. They're pinched here. And I love these. These are $4 only. I'm going to move this camera down a little bit more. $4 a strand for this. The next few strands I'm going to show you are all only $4 a strand. I think it's the first 15 or so strands that I have. They're all only $4 a strand. Okay. Let's see here. My best friend watched it, says Diane. Golden Girls when we were younger. We decided she was Dorothy, her mom was Sophia, and I was Rose. That's funny. And yeah, it's a very sad thing. Sad thing. Betty White. I'm sure you all saw the news. But I think remembering the things that they did is very important too. So I was almost not going to mention it at all, but I think remembering those things is good, because I think they were kind of pioneers in a lot of ways, a lot of the women in that show. And that show really culminated a lot of talent, and I don't know about culminated, but it put together a lot of talent and a lot of issues. There were a lot of social issues that Golden Girls talked about that are still being talked about and debated today. I think they were all really amazing women, and yeah, just beautiful things, beautiful show. So here's another piece, again yellow. See, now that I picked the first yellow one, I was going to keep going with yellow. This is on purpose. But these beautiful rectangles, and I love these. Check that out. Wonderful. $4 a strand. And as I said, if you take a screenshot of these, you can send them to us using that email address that I have up on the screen. If you cannot take a screenshot, just give us a very good description. Yellow rectangles on this would do just fine. I will know what you're talking about. All right. Susan says, for Betty White, I'm planning on making an animal rescue donation on her birthday in her honor. I think that's a great thing to do. I shared a post about that. My aunt is the president of an animal sanctuary, mostly for horses, but they do good work in taking care of many different types of animals. And so we're definitely animal lovers in our family as well. So definitely, if you can go out there and make a donation in her honor, that would be amazing. These glowy little balls of joy, I think these are so beautiful. I use beautiful a lot. So I think these are so stunning. How about that? How about that for a different one? And I love how they change compared or depending on what's in the background and just how they move. These I think are really fun and only $4 a strand. Now remember, some of these I might only have one strand of. I pulled these at random out of a large bowl of vintage plastic that we have in the store. So I did not pull them thinking, oh, I have 6 of these that I can sell. I pulled them because I said, I like this one. I like this one. I want to show this one. So we may or may not have more than even one of some of these. So if you do like it, please, I urge you to send us an email or a message quickly to claim it. Susan says, almost like Smoky Quartz. Yeah, almost. It's it does have kind of a Smoky Quartz quality, but it has a little bit of a yellow quality to it as well. On a piece of paper just to show you the white, because I know the wood can make it look like it's clear maybe, but it is, there's a little bit of a yellow quality to it. All right. Next up, talk about Smoky Quartz. How about this? How about this? That gray and clear color. One side of these discs is kind of gray. One side is pretty much clear, and to varying degrees. And these are also that kind of smushed coin shape. They're smushed on the edges. Like if you took a penny and just smushed the sides. And these are all $4 a strand that I'm showing you. So I know I'm not saying the price on all of them. I'll let you know when the price changes. But right now we're at $4 a strand. Oh, and generally, this vintage plastic is from the 50s to the late 70s is when it was created. 50s to late 70s, the stuff I'm showing you. How about these? Drops, purple drops. Purple rain, right? How about that? Purple rain drops. Diane says, I love to play in the vintage plastic bowl at the store, right? Sometimes you just want to, every once in a while I walk by it and I just dig my hands in it and bring up stuff from the bottom because, you know, things settle at different times in different ways. So I like to bring stuff up from the bottom. It's so much, it's so kind of relaxing, but it's definitely kind of a little bit therapeutic too. So here they are. Now this is a SKU 1609. Do not send that SKU to me thinking you're going to get these. Vintage plastic in the store, for the most part, is all 1609. So we need a better description than that if you're going to send descriptions. All right. Each strand, $4. Andrew says, like Amelie, right? That's a movie I haven't watched in a long time. Maybe we need to watch that. Sometimes it's good to watch a movie, rewatch a movie. Are there, I like to ask questions during this so that, you know, I keep people, I don't know what the word is. I just want to keep you from just zoning out, right? You don't want to zone out, but I know there's a lot you can zone out to looking at the pretty things, but I like to keep engaged. That's the word. So are there any movies out there that you feel particularly drawn to that you could watch over and over and maybe do watch over and over again? Some of mine, there, Mary Ann got it. Some of mine, I love It's a Wonderful Life. I actually didn't watch it this holiday season. Normally, when we were growing up, my mom and I and any other members of the family who were around that wanted to would watch It's a Wonderful Life every year. And I think my mom still pretty much does. Even if she's by herself with COVID and stuff going on, she still watches It's a Wonderful Life. And that's one of my favorites. Groundhog Day. I love Bill Murray's Groundhog Day. Love that. I love his character in it. I think it's a great story. And I could watch that. I actually, these days of streaming, I don't own many videos, but I downloaded and own It's a Wonderful Life and Groundhog Day, just so that in case the streaming goes out or something happens, I can watch any of those two movies to keep myself occupied. So how about you? Andrew says Practical Magic, Pride and Prejudice, The Red Violin, and White Oleander. Marianne says Sense and Sensibility. Donna out there says my favorite movie, It's a Wonderful Life. I know, it's a good one, isn't it? It's a good one. Diane says, I haven't watched it in a while, but I watched The Crow many, many times when I was younger. I also like Guardians of the Galaxy. Nice. Molly loves Groundhog Day too. Teresa said, Bishop's Wife is a great movie. I love Groundhog Day. Nice. See, these classics. Now this shape, I don't know what to call it. It's like a star kind of. It's like a cross there. You can see, hopefully you can see kind of what it looks like. There we go. And then it's elongated and slightly like that. That's what I'm going to do. Donna loves Gone with the Wind, White Christmas, Oklahoma, and Singing in the Rain. Nice. I think there are those movies out there that, sometimes it's nostalgia. I started watching some nostalgic movies, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Great holiday movie. What else do I like? Coming to America. Although I have not seen Coming to America 2. I've not seen the new kind of sequel, if you can call it a sequel, I guess. So I do want to see that too. Our niece Azalea loves The Crow. I enjoy it too, but haven't watched it in a long time. I think I've watched that, but it's been a long time since I've seen that. I don't think I've ever watched The Bishop's Wife either. Lauren loves the new Spider-Man. Nice. A Christmas Carol with Alastair Sims, says Marianne. Nice. Good movie choices. I don't know all of them, but I'm going to assume they're good. I'm going to assume they're all very good. They sound good. The ones I know are definitely good. So we have these two. This is like the larger version of this. They have a purple tint to them. You can see it better in the big one here on camera, but even these ones have it. You can kind of see it up here. So it's green. They're kind of green and purple. Christmas Vacation, another great one, Molly. Christmas Vacation. All right. That's that. Next up, some of these are probably one of my very favorites. Some of my favorites. Lauren says, I'm thinking that's the Spider-Man you're talking about. It's the best movie I've seen in my life. Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad, sometimes we look back on things and think they were better than now, right? But it's always good, I think, to try new things and watch and listen to new music and all that stuff, because you don't want to limit yourself again. And it's great that you found something modern that is so good for you and you've enjoyed so much. Let's see. Cynthia said, I saw a really good horror movie last night called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark by Guillermo del Toro. There's a dark fairy theme. I don't know if Andrew, have we watched that? He knows more better than I do. I'm one of those people, and I'm trying to get better about it, but I'm definitely one of those people. I have a bad memory. I'm going to say short-term memory. Long-term things are locked in generally. Short-term things, not so much. But I could watch a movie like 16 times halfway through before I realize I watched it before. Just the way I am. Anybody else out there like that, or is it just me that my brain's falling apart? But I've always been like that, so I can't say that it's a new thing. Julie says, when Harry met Sally makes me laugh and cry every time. Nice. Nice. Andrew says, we have not watched it yet. So there we go. I love these too. We have some nice clear ones. I just picked these ones to show you because I think these cylinders are kind of cool. I think they can make cool necklaces. Or, I mean, and near necklaces, yes, but earrings too. I think they could be cool earrings. And some of these have the little bubbles in them. I kind of really like that, actually. They remind me of amber with amber bubbles trapped. Susan's pulling out some movies I've never heard of. Her favorites: First Avengers, Arg, A Music War, Quatermass in the Pit, Mask of the Red Death, The Dunwich Horror. I don't think I've heard of most of those. So that's I always like seeing new comments and new things. Something About Mary. Nice. Here's some new, more vintage plastic. Cynthia says Sleepless in Seattle. I do like Sleepless in Seattle. You've Got Mail and Sleepless in Seattle, as well as An Affair to Remember. I don't think I've seen An Affair to Remember. I've seen the other two, and I like those. The Godfather, Kill Bill, Spotlight, Black Mass. I don't think I've ever watched The Godfather. I know, right? I hear people gasping probably as I say that. I've never. There are so many movies I haven't seen that are like classics. Silence of the Lambs. I don't think I've ever watched that. Poltergeist. I know I've never seen. I've seen parts of Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff, but I've never watched them all the way through. The Godfather, never watched all the way through. Cynthia says she hasn't seen The Godfather either. Molly's husband is a comic geek. Nice. I've never got into comics. I always wanted to. I had that thing. I like things where you can build collections. And I always thought that I would, but I never, ever did. Never did. Interview with a Vampire, says Harry. That's a good one. I love that movie. Andrew said Silence of the Lambs, nightmare fuel. See, I've never watched it. Never watched it. Love these. These look like amber. We're talking about amber bubbles kind of in this one. Look, that's just like amber there. Donna says, see, I'm not a fan of horror movies. Yeah, that's what I kind of used to say, I guess. And that's why I didn't really watch a lot of them. But now I kind of feel like I missed out on something. So I might have to go back and watch some of these horror films. Andrew always, when I say that, Andrew's like, not with me or not. He doesn't need nightmare fuel. See, you're not going to be watching it with me either. Same with 7. Cindy said those look like they have faces inside, right? You can see faces everywhere. The faces are everywhere. Quatermass is classic Hammer horror. Mask of Red Death is Roger Corman's work. Jack Nicholson had a hand with it too. Cindy says, I like comedy horror, right? Next up. See, I like this talking while I'm showing things because I don't have much to say other than these are vintage plastic. So I love when you all talk and I can just show things and you can watch the showing and we can have nice conversation. Because sometimes once you've said enough, right? It's hard to talk about things sometimes all the time. So I like these prompts. Very good. As Andrew would say, you're all doing great. I love this one. This is kind of partially Moonglow lucite here. There's some Moonglow pieces on here, some of those clear pieces with those bubbles. This, I think, is one of those strands. I think there's only one. I don't think I have any more of this one. And we're going to see some more moon glow coming up. I do have more of that. Teresa said Edward Scissorhands. That was a good movie, too. That was a good movie, too. Cynthia says, I call those storm cloud beads. She said, these look like jade. Harry said, first movie I ever saw was 1957, a Boris Karloff flick called The Haunted Strangler. Mom's boyfriend thought it was a good family show. Oh, boy. Amy's being responsible and helping with Spanish language homework out there in her life. Nice. Spanish homework, something I've not had for quite a while. Look at these big chunkies right here. These are, on my screen, coming off as mostly brown. They are a little tiny bit pink in person. They have kind of a pink hue to them. Just a little, like peachy almost, maybe. Maybe peachy. So they're not completely brown. Let's see if this will. There, that brings back a little bit of it on my screen. Not a lot. Not a lot, but a little bit. Maybe, let's see what they look like on here. There you go. That's kind of more the color that they actually are. They do look like seed pods, Cynthia. She said, I love those big browns. Look like a seed pod. All right. Okay. So those are the $4 vintage plastics. And that's not to say that I don't have any more $4, but that's from the big bowl. That's from the big bowl in store. And I'm going to show you some that are not in the big bowl. All right. I'm going to show you this tray of goodness that's coming up. Let's start with this. Check this out. These are they're grayish with some brown in them, kind of like bamboo almost, right? They have these striations through them. And these ones are, if I can see, $6 for the strand. $6, that's a pretty big strand. $6 for the strand. Love, love, love those. Now these next ones coming up, I do only have one strand of each. One strand of each. So if you love this one, send us that message or that email because we only have one. One and done, everyone. And first come, first serve. Next up, these big beauties. Vintage Resin. These are $14 a strand. Vintage Resin. I like to flick these. There it goes. I'm like, why isn't it working for me? Just, those things we do. Fidget spinners, right? So $14 a strand, only one of those available. Andrew loves The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a great one. Lauren loves all Bruce Willis movies. Bruce Willis, yeah, good actor, I think. Princess Bride. Susan says that green is lovely. That green is lovely. And it's even a tad bit brighter than what I'm seeing on my screen in person. How about these? These are $8 for the strand for these lovelies. Now they do not have a hole in the bottom. They are only pierced through the top. Because I had somebody the other day asking about connectors, and we were looking at these, but realized they're not. But you could loop something in there if you wanted to. Amy watches Die Hard every Christmas. I know people who do watch Die Hard every Christmas. I don't know if I've ever actually seen Die Hard. If I did, it was when I was younger, and I don't remember it very much. So here are these, $8 for the strand of them. I think these are fun, little orbital things. Next up, more vintage resin. $14 again for this strand of beautiful orange. Orangey goodness. I'm an orange fan. I've always been an orange fan. Isn't that fun? Like tangerine, says Susan. That's exactly. I was just about to say it, and then your comment popped up. This one looks like it sat a little bit too long somewhere. Flat. $14 a strand. A lot of nice beads in that strand. Next up, some blue cones. Check those out. Those are fun. And remember, this is vintage plastic, vintage resin, vintage lucite. Super lightweight. Super lightweight. And you get it in all these beautiful, wild, pretty colors. $14 a strand for that. Susan says the colors are so vivid. That's the thing. That's what I love, right? You can get these vivid, bright, beautiful colors. And sometimes you just want to make fun designs with these fun, beautiful colors, right? I think so. I love when people pick these out in classes here at the store and stuff to make stuff with, because it's always fun, right? Always not what you expect in the end. You give your chance. You give yourself a chance to play around. Here's some red vintage resin. Those are 14 a strand as well. Remember, only one of each of these that I'm showing you. We only have one of each. Yeah, these are mini cherry tomatoes, right? Mini cherry tomatoes. Okay, what do I have next here? How about these? Yellow. They call me Mellow Yellow. Beautiful yellow. Faceted. I just love these because they're so retro. I think it's so in right now. Oh, I want to see people make fun things with all of these. So if you get any of these strands, remember, you can get them by emailing us at info@allegorygallery.com or sending us a message to our Facebook page here on Facebook. If you do make something, please, please, please share. We love to see it. Tag us, hashtag us, whatever you need to do, but let us see it, because I want to see what you all make with these. We love sharing things that people have made. If you're a seller, you're selling your jewelry, it always helps to get those extra shares. Generally, if we see something that we're tagged in, we'll often share it to our stories and on Facebook and Instagram. And it never hurts to get an extra share or two, right? I think so. These nuggets are delicious. Don't eat them, but they're a feast for your eyes. Just big, chunky, haphazardly simple cut, I guess, nuggets in vintage lucite. I'm sorry, vintage resin. $14 for that strand. Oh, I just missed Diane's. What bright blue she's talking about? These ones, the bright blue incense cones, right? Actually, they do look like that. Next up, how about some chocolate drops? Look like chocolate drops. Can you tell I'm getting a little bit hungry? Tangerines, cherry tomato. Although I am queuing off of you all out there. But I'm thinking the same thing in my head as most of you. $6. Maybe we're all getting hungry. $6 for this strand. And I just love how pointy these are at the tops. I love how pointy these are. That makes me happy. All right, what's next? How about these? Love, love, love these little discs. $14 a strand for that red, white, and blue disc. Red, white, and blue, looking for some 4th of July jewelry making stuff. That could be in just, it wouldn't be the expected, right? Wouldn't be the expected kind of bead, but I think it would definitely blend in if you're doing any kind of red, white, and blue. I love when you get the theme, but it's done in an unexpected way. Remind me of an off-center Captain America shield. Nice. Exactly. Andrew said, I am surprised these are still around. I had to beg with the seller to part with them from her personal collection. Yeah, I'm really surprised too. I'm really surprised too. But like I said, I think it's a part about education and really educating people. That's we try to do it in the store to educate people that plastic is not junk, right? A lot of people come in with the attitude that, oh, it's plastic, I'm going to buy the sapphires. And there's nothing wrong with buying sapphires. I will sell you sapphires if you want sapphires. But plastic is not junk. We wouldn't sell it if it were junk, right? You just have to really... but some people are also never going to work with plastic because that's not their medium. But like I said in the beginning of this video, or toward the beginning of this video, I think you're really cheating yourself out of an experience if you don't give it a try. How about this fun rainbow right here? That's a fun rainbow. Rainbow of kind of diamond or side or off. Well, I forget what. How do you corner drilled rectangles? Kind of rectangles. Corner drilled squares. What am I talking about? I just call them a diamond shape. Why try and figure out something else, some other name? $14 for these diamond shaped vintage resin beads. Remember, if you want anything from this video, send us an email at info@allegorygallery.com. Please send us a screenshot or an exceptionally good description. Pretend you don't even know what beads you're asking for. What description would you need to figure them out? Send us that description if you can't send a screenshot. Also include your shipping address so that I can know what kind of shipping charges and what kind of taxes to put on your invoice, if any are necessary. Send us all that in an email or multiple emails if you'd like to claim multiple to make sure you get these, because these are one of a kind. We do not have more than one of any of these in this series that I'm showing you. You can send multiple messages. You do not have to wait till the end of this video. Send those to us, and we'll sort everything out by timestamp, who got what, and then send you an invoice if it's available to you. All right. You pay the invoice using your credit card. You can do a bank transfer. I think they're still allowing that on the invoices. And we ship it out to you. Andrew said, we had this one woman come in with this necklace, lemon necklace, and she thought it was junk and actually tried to sell it in a consignment shop for $10, but she wanted me to fix something. I looked it up. Turns out it was a runway piece for Lanvin and was worth $3,000. Her tune changed. I bet it did. Lemon, I think it was lemon plastic, right? Lemon plastic. And yeah, you stick that designer name on an plastic, and it makes you change your mind sometimes, right? Oh, designers are using plastic. Yes, they've used it all through the years. They're not afraid, especially the biggest houses, right? So don't you be afraid. I love these. They're kind of that purpley blue. It's kind of like that ink color, right? How blue ink isn't really completely blue. It has that purple sheen to it. These are a little bit more, I would say, on the purple side. In person, they're a little bit more purple with some of that blue rather than that blue with the purple, if that makes any sense. Beautiful pieces, though. They show up more blue in the screen. They show up more purple in the hand. Blurple, right? Plou. Plou. Well, plou. Plou in French is rain. Il a plu. Well, it rained, technically. Beautiful, though. Beautiful, anyway. Plou or blurple. We're going to call that, as Marianne said, blurple. Next up, orange again. I know these are not the easiest thing to design with, these big kind of things like this one and this one that I showed you earlier. They're not the easiest to design with. I know, but aren't they fun? And I think they're worth trying. I think they're worth trying. And there are some of you out there I know who design awesome things and have great ideas, and I would love to see what you do with these. Right? Just so much fun. So this strand is 14 a strand for those 6 giant center drilled rectangles. Or rhombuses, right? Is that a rhombus too? Susan says they have a very 60s mod vibe. Yes, that's why I love them. That's why I love them. You know, I know we always look back at decades and we look back and we pull out kind of the most fun things or the most iconic things, and we forget that people dress regularly too, right? But when you see these kind of things, that's what you envision, right? So I think that's an interesting thought I had the other day. I'm like, the 80s, a lot of people didn't dress the way that the 80s show up in retro looking things when you look back at things. But it's amazing how these things can spark an entire decade's worth of thought, right? Andrew said you could get some stays on ink and stamp something on them, string it on a chain and call it neat. Right? Yeah, you could stamp on these there. They'd probably be a very good stamping surface. How about these? Lovely little granite marbly looking things. Susan says, yeah, most people didn't dress like Edie, Jean, or Twiggy in the 60s, right? Exactly. But that's what we think of as the 60s, right? When people say I want to dress like they did in the 60s. And the 80s the same way, right? The majority of people didn't go around with leg warmers, and a lot of people did have the crazy hair, the big hairspray hair. That was a thing. A lot of people did. But I think our hair kind of sometimes fits the decades better than almost anything else. Andrew said it's like Wonder Woman 84. Everyone looked like they were auditioning for Flock of Seagulls. All right. $14 for that. If you like those, they look like stone, but are much lighter than stone. All right. Susan says there were distinct periods during the 80s. I think that's a lot in a lot of places. I like to listen to music from the 60s. I think the 60s, personally, was one of the most changing decades, because at the beginning of it, the music was very different than the music coming out of the 60s. If any of you have anything like Sirius satellite radio or anything, if you put on the 60s station, the beginning of the 60s sounds very much like the 50s, which, as you may know, like very, very different, right? Calmer, I don't know. I don't know what the word is for it, but you come out of the 60s and the music, I think musically, the 60s was a very, very different kind of decade, with a vast change from one end of it to the other. And that just hit me as I was listening to that station. I was like, this is exceptionally different from the song I just heard, but they're all in the 60s. Whereas in the 80s, I know there are some changes here and there. And in other decades, there are some changes here and there. And of course, everything changes over 10 years. But just the change from the beginning of the 60s to the end of the 60s musically, I think was really, really different. And I love all of it. I enjoy all of it. But I think it just hit me that was a really, a very big changing decade. People are talking about dressing up and what they did in the different decades. I love that. Diane says, I remember a lot of big hair and windbreakers at my school in the 80s. Yeah, I guess we had that too. We definitely had that too. I love these. I don't know if you do too. These are kind of basic, kind of simple, but they have kind of a green hue to them. But they're mostly a nice basic, a nice, I just blanked out on the word. Y'all can help me. Neutral, that's the word, a nice neutral. Oh, people talking about the shoulder pads. Yes, the big shoulder pads. That was a thing for everybody, especially women, but even guys' suits and stuff had giant shoulder pads in them. That's definitely a pretty iconic look. If you like these ones, they are $5 a strand only. Andrew says things seem to cycle back. Yeah, they always cycle back and change a little bit, right? So even big shoulder pads are starting to make a little bit of a comeback, just not quite as big, right? Or maybe they're even bigger, like, or they stand off the shoulder even more, they're accentuated more. Who would have thought mullets would make a comeback? Isn't that the truth? Of all the things that can make a comeback, why does the mullet have to make a comeback? I thought we left that go. I thought we were happy letting that go. But it's definitely coming back. I know many people in this area who have mullets again. Susan says some things never age well, right? Right? We have these little butterflies. I'm going to call them butterflies. And these are $14 a strand. We've got the red butterflies. Another rainbow strand. Yeah, one of my cousins, her child has a mullet and loves it, absolutely loves it. And I will say, when I was in school, I had one, and I didn't want my stylist to cut it off, so I had it for quite a while. I look back on that and like, what are you doing? What did you do? But I did love it back then. Would never, ever do it again. Never, ever. Not even for a theme night. Maybe for a theme night, but I don't do theme nights. I don't do dress up. $14 a strand. If you like these little cylinders, they look like jujubes, right? It is a sweet rainbow strand, Susan. Rosie said look like jujubes, right? Little cylinders. Love these. Only one strand of these available. One strand of these ones I'm showing you lately. That's all we've got. If you like them, get them. Request them. Be one of the first things you request from us here in 2022. These are like the other ones I showed you, these ones, but they're just gray. Just gray. I say just gray like that's a bad thing. I love gray. It's probably my favorite neutral. it shows off other colors so well. We use a gray background for a lot of photos and stuff because it shows things so well. It really lets other colors shine. Andrew said, the mullet tried to make a comeback in the early 2000s. The hairdresser was trying to play her and pronounce it moulet. Moulet, right? That's how you would say it in French. Moulet, right? Close to it anyway. Yeah. Bouquet for bucket, Mrs. Bouquet. Who doesn't love Keeping Up Appearances? What a fantastic show. One of my very favorite British comedies, Keeping Up Appearances. Love Ab Fab too. Who can't love Ab Fab? Target for Target, right? Exactly. Everyone in my college used to pronounce Target as Target. We're going to Target tonight. When I was in college, that was a big thing. Probably still is. Check these out. You don't see something like this very often. I love these. These kind of icy blue-green nuggets. They look like ice cubes, right? Andrew's friend made the right choice, if you ask me. Ended up getting a pixie cut instead of the moulet. Good choice. Good choice there. These are, if you're wondering, $14 a strand. They do look like sea glass, Donna. They look just like sea glass. Even in person, they do. They're a little darker on screen than they look in person. Marianne loves Hyacinth. Yeah, Hyacinth Bouquet and crew. Wonderful. Next up, these little jellies. They look like jellies. On screen, they're coming off a little brick in color. They are kind of, but they're a little bit more red. You can maybe see it here a little better. They're a little bit more red, like my shirt is more brick. They do definitely have kind of some of that brick quality to them, though. Marianne saying you would like Birds of a Feather. I think I've seen some of those. I can't remember. I feel like I have watched some of that, though, or at least have seen clips of it. So there they are, $14. If you like those. What's the other British comedy I really... Of course, I love Mr. Bean. And... oh, why can't I think of the other one? It's the one where they work in a men's shop. It's not coming to me. Anyone out there know which one I'm talking about? Oh, I do love Faulty Towers. Andrew said that one. Yeah, not Blackadder. Faulty Towers I do love. I definitely love that. They work in a men's shop. Are you being served? There it is. Andrew severed. Are you being severed? Are you being served? See, Andrew knows what I watch. Suzanne says, my husband's client is Mr. Bean's brother. That's awesome. Rowan Atkinson. Amy says, one of my favorite British shows is Black Books. I don't know Black Books. These, if you like these, they are only, $12. $12. Only $12. These big chunky monkeys. If you like the chunky, here's the chunky. More chunky. Doctor Who is a great British show. I have to admit, I've not seen a lot of Doctor Who from past times, going back further in history. So we started watching some of them, but didn't get through them very far. I do like British humor. I do like British humor. Midsummer Murders. Anybody watch Midsummer Murders? We like those in our family. about these? These are fun. Talk about that mod retro look. These would be really cool because you could you could put things inside of them, right? You could string some things inside of these straight on through, make some funky designs that way. Oh, Amy, I may have actually seen, that's starting to bring back memories now. The bookshop owner who hates people and customer service. I may have actually seen that. Black Books. I think I did. I think I did. I forgot the name. That was really funny. It's like it's like when you go into some stores and they're like, they feel like they don't want to help you. Like they don't actually want to sell you anything. Oh, Susan says, be careful, you go to Latrobe, roads are getting bad. Uh-oh. I gotta go get dinner. Let's speed this up a little bit. Here are Buddhas. We have them in 3 different colors. If you like the Buddhas, I showed those on the preview for these videos. $8 a strand only for the Buddhas. I'll show you, that's what a strand looks like. And there's 6 on each strand. Andrew said, you did watch it. See, Andrew knows what I watch because he remembers things. I could watch the same thing 18,000 times. Just ask Andrew and not remember it. Andrew can quote Golden Girls, and he's probably watched it a lot less than I have. I'm not one of those people. So we have these little happy Buddhas, $8. This is German resin, $8 each. And now, I promised you Moon Glow. The other thing I like about vintage plastic is you don't have to necessarily be all that kind to it, right? Just throw it in the bowl. So I promised you Moon Glow. I'm going to show you some Moon Glow real quick. I'm going to throw these up here. I think some of these are in our online store. I believe I put some of them in the online store, so you can check there to see if we have any more in stock. But I do have more here from the store floor. And I'm going to try and throw a number of different designs up here for you all to see. And I'm going to pull back the camera a little bit. Not that way, this way. We love the Moon Glow, and so we have definitely a fairly nice collection of it. Showed you that one already. We have that one. I'm going to put these out so that you can let us know if you'd like any of these. We're going to do this the quick way instead of doing it the slow way, one at a time. Throw the penny right in the middle there. And like I said, I think some of these might be in the online store. I can't remember if they all are or not. Oh, British comedy that almost killed me by laughing so hard is chewing gum. It is hilarious. It is raunchy, as Andrew said, but it is hilarious. Hilarious. If you're sensitive thinking it's prim and proper, it's definitely not. It is not. So all of the Moon Glow that we sell, we're doing it for $5 a strand here. Only $5 a strand. I'm still trying to find new ones. I think I got most of the styles that we offer right now. And I have a whole bowl of this, but some of these styles, oh, there's a new one. Some of these styles are definitely much more limited than others. Cynthia says, Andrew, you can't even tell about the scene or tell someone about the scene. You're laughing so hard. He does. Andrew gets to laughing so hard anytime he even talks about chewing gum and some of the scenes in it. All right, so that I think is most of the current Moon Glow we have. And if you're not used to it or you don't know what it is, Moon Glow is called Moon Glow because it glows like this. You can see those reflections on there. Andrew's already smiling now. He said, thinking about chewing gum. That show, it is funny. It is funny. So if you like any of these, anyone, send us that message, right? Send us that message, send us that email, let us know which you want. If you take a screenshot of this, you can circle the one you want or point it out. If you're sending descriptions, try to send very good ones so I know which ones you're talking about. All right. And if all else fails, we can message back and forth, send some photos to make sure we got the right one. All right. So since the weather is getting bad out here, I'm going to start packing up and going to get some of our Chinese food because it's in the next town over. And I want to make sure that I get there and back safely. So I'm going to flip this camera around really quickly again so that you can see. Whoops. Oh, hopefully you can still see me. Sometimes when I hit that wrong button, it disconnects me a little bit. So hopefully you can still see me. I'm going to raise this up. Okay, so if you like any of those, send us a message. You know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, send us an email and ask me, how do I do this? Or just send us an email with descriptions and let us know you want it. All right. So thank you all for tuning in for my first video of the new year. I know it's been a while. Andrew's been covering for me while we've been doing some things at Star Cottage Studio. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is we are going to be looking at doing bead in the new year. I know we're a little bit kind of behind maybe, but we're going to work bead in the new year a little differently this year. So bead in the new year is where we give you prompts. We used to do it every day. We used to give you a daily prompt for January. Instead of doing it that way, we're going to give you weekly prompts for the entire year. So we're working on a calendar. We're going to get some of that out to you hopefully soon. And we're going to do it weekly because sometimes daily prompts is too much, right? We've gotten feedback on that. Sometimes it's just too much. And even though there's no time limit to these, you can do them at any time. We just don't want to overwhelm you, right? 2022 about being not overwhelmed. How about that? So beat in the new year. We're going to get a calendar out soon for the first month or two. So we're working on that. Just wanted to let you know because some people have been asking us, are we doing that again this year? The answer is yes. All right. So again, thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making Allegory Gallery last into 2022. We want to last into 2032 as well. So we need your support. Thank you for shopping small. Thank you for supporting this small business. Thank you for sticking with us for 2 hours today. All right. And again, if you'd like to follow the William Tries thing that I'm going to try to do, I'll have that page up and I'll be sharing it from my personal Facebook page here. And maybe we'll share it on the Allegory Gallery, maybe. I don't like to cross over too much on those things. But thank you again. If you'd like anything, please message us. We are a fully stocked bead store, so if you need just any beading supplies, please feel free to reach out. We can invoice and ship pretty much anything we have in store to you. All right. I'm losing my voice, so I am going to go. I know you're asking some questions. Andrew's better at answering some of those than me. And if he can get you an answer, he will. If not, we'll check back with you if we're missing anything as best we can. All right. Thank you all so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, and safe evening. Bye, everybody.